I signed tracks to a library and opted out of the one-time sync payment. I think this is in my best interest as a track could produce multiple sync fees if used. Am I understanding this correctly? Yes, you are, but there are multiple points of view on this subject. So if you guys are not aware, when you sign with a library, some libraries will say either you take a one-time consideration fee from us per track, and it can be, $300, $600. It can be pretty good. In exchange, though, for if we ever get sync fees for your music, you don't get to participate in any of those. We keep all those. And then the other option is we don't pay you any consideration fees for your tracks, so zero. But if we get we get sync fees for placements of your tracks, then we split those 50-50. So the calculation there is, of course, if there's a sync fee of 10 grand, 20 grand, which is definitely possible, you're sitting on a lot more money than a couple of $100 here and there. However, there are some libraries that don't get tons of custom opportunities with sync fees. So getting, let's say, $300 per track as a consideration fee, guaranteed money, guaranteed in your pocket, guaranteed paying your bills, versus a, fictitious and hopefully futuristic sync fee, that's the kind of thing, right? So which one of those is more valuable to you? And how do you know which one is going to be? Well, it's almost impossible to really know. And I would say you should probably kind of evaluate your priorities, right? What's more important to you? Getting a couple of $100 right now, I'm not saying that's never a really valuable thing. Some of you guys, that could really make a huge difference. In fact, some of you guys, if you can just make a little bit of upfront money with your consideration fees, that might be able to get you out of your day job so you can actually focus more on sync licensing to build up your royalties, right? So that actually might be the right path for you. But then some of you are more on the sort of, no, I don't really need that. I'm okay right now. I really want to just focus on those larger sync fees. And I believe that this library can help me earn those really awesome ones because I've seen some of their great big, usually it's advertisement and promos and trailers and that kind of thing. That's usually where you see some big sync fees. So if you have faith that they're going to actually do that for you, then maybe you do want to forego that upfront money and really go for the big potential upfront sync fees. But everything's a risk, right? So you could be taking all this upfront money and then they get $100,000 sync fee opportunities for your tracks. You get nothing of that, right? Because you've been getting the small money. And the flip side of that is that you take none of this money and then you get the $100,000 one and it completely more than pays off what you would have earned with these little $100 checks here and there, right? So what's the right answer? Just like life, guys, there is no clear right or wrong. You have to just sort of weigh out these decisions and choices for yourself and decide what are my priorities, how strong do I feel about this library, what do I want to do. One thing you can definitely ask library is, are you able to change this setup with them, this contract with them at some point? So once you say, hey, I want to take the consideration fees, maybe in a year, if you notice that you're starting to get some sync fee opportunities, you might want to ask them, hey, can I switch? Can I now no longer get the consideration fees, but only get the sync fees? Ask them, are they flexible with this? You can't do it from week to week, and you definitely can't change it once an opportunity comes in. That's not how it's going to work. But maybe it's an annual thing. You can kind of revisit your contract and sort of switch out how you want to do it. But definitely ask your library. It's a really good question for sure.